Okay.
We are back here with episode 7 of the Stripe Sox podcast. Still in the transfer portal, Justin Levy.
You're still in it? You haven't.
Well, no, because nobody's commented, so I don't
Oh,
necessarily.
that's fair. That's fair. Guys, please help him out. Like, give him a team here. And I am your Tigers fan, Jonathan Melma.
Which I will say, in terms of transfer portal, I'm not looking for that much NIL. Just one deal, and it has to be with Chipotle. That's it.
Chipotle. Oh, well, like, what are you looking for? Like one free meal a week, or like
I want like the
unlimited
card.
card, or
I
what?
want their card.
You want the unlimited card?
Yep.
That's a pretty high ask, but if it can work, if somebody can make it work, that would be a very good deal for you.
If they want to go on my Chipotle app and track my orders, that should be about it. That should be the only thing they need to know.
Uh, so
Enough about my NIL. What are we talking about? Jerseys. We're following, or not jerseys. We're following on last week because I
I was gonna
heard.
say before we get to the jerseys, we're gonna follow up on last week. So for my nickname, I did think of one to toss out there, but we also did get a comment on one that I really liked.
From who?
So from the user Naomi German on Instagram, she said, well, if Justin is Orange Crush for Syracuse, then Jonathan has to be Mountain Dew for State because I go to Michigan State.
Oh,
So then I said, well, maybe it should be Dew or Dews, just for short there. So it has that meaning, but also you could say it's for the hair too. Um, yeah. So the one that I thought of that could be used would be JML. Um, Pretty self-explanatory on that because I realized this week I was like, I had been called that quite a bit, so I could use that. But I do really like dues, so I think we're going to submit dues as my players weekend name.
there we
So
go.
shout out
Locking it
to
up.
Naomi. Yep, locking that in.
Perfect. And if we had a big board that's a deal or no deal, I'm sure that would have been taken on the deal.
Yeah, yep, we are definitely locking that in. So
And I believe you said number 30, right?
yep, number 30. Yep. Oh, I didn't grab my jersey this
Okay.
week.
It's okay. Next week. Next week.
Next week. Next week. Or if I remember after this, maybe we'll toss in a picture of it post.
Maybe, maybe.
We'll see. We'll see. Speaking of stuff to wear, I am sporting a Grand Rapids Dam Breakers shirt tonight, and that is an alter ego of the West Michigan Whitecaps, who are the affiliate of the Tigers. It's kind of like their City Connect jerseys, and the Tigers City Connect jerseys just came out on Monday. I told you I thought it was May 6th, and I was correct. So actually, I might have said week of May 6th, but
I think
nonetheless,
it was week of.
nonetheless, that's still a correct statement. So my thoughts on it, you tagged me on Twitter after it came out, or X as it's called now, after they came out and
It
asked
will
me my
always be Twitter. It will always be Twitter.
it will always be Twitter, you are correct. And I said I would make my statement on here. As a whole, I like the jerseys. I don't like them as much as some people necessarily, just because I think that the color blue in the black looks very similar to Phillies. So, but like the tread marks, the M1 313 patch on the side, absolutely love those. Motor City across, that was the only thing it really could be. The VIN number, I absolutely love that. There's so many really, really good features or Easter eggs to it that I love. And if we were just going off of those, hands down one of the best City Connect jerseys. I think it does some of the best of connecting with the city of any of them really. Up there with DC again with the cherry blossoms. Um, or Tampa with the skating culture and the street culture down there.
Bringing
I
back the
think
skating ray.
yep, bringing back the skating stingray. So I really do love those. I will say though, the hat brings it down a lot for me. I really do not like the Detroit hat. I love Detroit, and that's not what I'm saying. Just I feel like they could have done a lot more, and we're not talking about the underside of the brim. The underside of the brim is amazing. I love that. But like just looking on it head on, they should have done something else than just put Detroit there. Um, I think it looks a little cheap. Like some people really, really, really love the hat. I think they could have done a little bit more with it. I know I was also hoping, I don't know how like legally if they could have done this, but something with the spirit of Detroit would have been cool, I feel like. Especially because that's such a big symbol of the city. But as a whole, love the jerseys. The hats just where it loses me a little bit. Oh, I forgot to mention the racing stripes too
Mhm.
on the sleeves and on the pants. Though I do think that they should not wear the pants with it, which I feel like a lot of the teams do it with like the exception of basically the Astros.
Mhm.
Um, which the Astros ones are also really good. I didn't mention those last week. I really did like that. But Houston and Detroit, I feel like are some of the better ones for connecting with the city. Um, which with such iconic nicknames, it's kind of easy to, but the amount of detail put into Detroit's is just amazing. And I don't think we've really seen that very many other city connects. Usually it's like one or two things, whereas with Detroit, it's been a lot of things. So, and that bin tag, last thing with it, the fact that it's Detroit and then it's the 1901 for when they were founded, and then oh, what is it? 38? No, I'm gonna screw up these dates. One second. I know I know the last ones are 68 and 84. First one's 32 and maybe 44.
For the
But
titles.
yeah,
In terms of like the city stuff, like I'm very biased, but Chicago with the split, south is because it's always north side, south side. So at least the White Sox have the south side, but the Cubs embrace that they're Wrigley,
yep.
hence Wrigleyville. So it is still like
Hey,
is
yeah.
with the city. So they are with the city and they understand the divide.
What's up? Hi, we're gonna have a quick cameo from my dog here,
What's
who's
up?
wanting to say hi. Um, and it was 1935, 45, then 68 and 84. Um, bash me in the comments. I know I screwed up those dates. I was right around them, but yeah. Nonetheless, Jersey amazing. I love the fact that they include that VIN tag, and everything. It's great.
And say because obviously like with Motor City is Detroit, but like what if there was like Motown too, or it was a Motown inspired instead?
Oh, a Motown one. That, ooh, that I feel like when they redo them in a few years, that's where you got to go. Like I love Motor City, but I think Motown would be a really interesting one to also do.
All the music history from Detroit.
Oh yeah, yeah. You
Or
have
get or just get Eminem to design it.
no, no. Who you actually would want to design it would be Big Sean.
Oh,
Um,
mhm.
yeah, he actually holds a position with the Pistons. I forget the exact title of it, but he designed their City Connect ones or whatever the NBA equivalent is. I don't think it's called
Uh,
City.
it's not City Connect. It is. I think it is just City Edition.
Yeah, but he designed those. And he actually plays quite a big role in the Pistons organization. Um, so I love M, but if I was gonna have somebody design them from there, it'd be Big Sean. And there's another artist to help design the Pistons ones. And I'm not saying that I love the Pistons ones, but just those guys would be good. M would be cool to design a logo though, because he's a really good artist drawing wise.
Mhm.
Um, he's drawn some of his own comic books and some other stuff, but I think to design the jersey as a whole, um, yeah, it would be interesting to do like Big Sean. Maybe you have a collab with them, you
Something
know,
for Nike to look into.
Big Sean featuring Eminem, and it's the jersey featuring M's logos. There we go. So I guess, yeah, I'm trying to think of a way that you could incorporate rap into their stuff. like into the design of it.
Dude,
But
we're
the
just giving
Motown
Nike free
really
ideas out here.
is
They're
it,
just
huh?
not taking advantage. We're just giving Nike free ideas out here, and they're not taking.
There you go. Yeah, honestly, take them. I would love to see it. Yeah, but back to the current City Connect and not the ones that we're thinking of in the future. Besides the hat, I absolutely love it. And yeah, I think it's grown on me a little bit. When I first saw them, I was a little bit disappointed again because they look similar to Phillies to an extent, just colors wise. Or I felt at least. But they've definitely grown on me besides the hat. Um, so I would say they're definitely one of my favorite ones. If it got a redesigned hat, it would borderline be my favorite.
So speaking of like the Philly one, if they were to redesign and all they do is change the color from blue to red, perfect. That's it.
Yeah,
One small change.
yeah. Um, yeah, I would say possibly change that font a little bit. But yeah, I think in red it would look a lot better. And I understand why they did the blue, but it just looks really weird for the Phillies to be in blue. Like Red Sox in yellow looks a little bit weird, but like it doesn't at the same time.
You sure you're talking about the Red
Philly,
Sox, not UCLA Bruins?
no, the actual Red Sox. Their City Connects are the yellow ones.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but their hat looks exactly.
Why are there balloons again? I think that happened last week too.
We're celebrating that you didn't
We're
understand my
so
joke
uh
because their logo looks like the UCLA Bruins baseball logo with the City Connect.
I get what you're saying now. I get what you're saying now. Okay, I wasn't thinking about that. Okay, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But yeah, I feel like it is a little bit weird to see the Phillies in a blue for sure. Um, but yeah.
So
So
staying in that NL East, Miami Marlins pulled off a major trade, trading former
yep.
All-Star Luis Arraez over to Slam Diego to now be their new leadoff hitter because everything that you needed in San Diego is another middle infielder.
Oh, what was it? I saw a few weeks ago there was a lineup that they had where all nine starting players, minus pitcher, like including the DH instead of the pitcher, were all former shortstops.
Yep.
You have,
Arraez did play shortstop before.
yep, and that's why I said as soon as they traded, I was like, they're just adding another guy who's played shortstop. Because you have Tatis in right field, you have Machado at third, you have Ha-Seong Kim who could play second or
He's current
shortstop.
shortstop.
Huh?
He's currently their shortstop.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but he can play second.
I'm
Who's
telling you,
currently at second?
Bogarts.
Thank you. I was like, I'm blanking on this. You have Jake Cronenworth from Michigan, actually. At first base. You have Jackson Merrill in center field. Who's their left fielder?
Jurickson Profar.
Thank you.
That's seven.
I've listed off all of them. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Plus a rise.
Yep, plus Arise. Who's their catcher?
Luis Campuzano.
He might be the only one not to be former shortstop. But there was somebody who was behind the dish who was shortstop in one of their lineups. It might have been a few weeks ago when I saw it. And then of course they have a few extra guys that they can toss in at DH that many of them have also played shortstop. And yeah, that's just crazy. They're like, draft a shortstop. Oh, we already have one. Move them elsewhere. Draft another one or trade for one. And they're like, move them elsewhere. We'll figure it out.
Which is kind of funny because like as much as they don't want to help the Dodgers, Dodgers are in dire need of a shortstop. Don't get me wrong, Mookie Betts has played fine at shortstop, but he's not a natural shortstop.
That is true.
They want to trade him.
He's the opposite of the Padres. He's the anti-Padres. He's
Yes.
moving into a shortstop position instead of moving out of it. Yeah. Also, I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I forgot that Jackson Profar was their left fielder.
Well, before you get too down on that, Luis Arraez's former team or former team, Minnesota Twins, 12-game win streak. I believe that's the
Oh,
longest in franchise history. I mean, I will say it was against two of their series were against a team that shall not be named. So
seven of those 12 games.
exactly, 7 of the 12 were against the team that should not be named or
Yep.
shall not be named. But it's still
Eight
impressive.
and nine again. Oh, my bad.
It is still very impressive winning 7 of those games because it was home, because one was at home and 4 game on the road.
Yep.
But then they also played the Angels
Yep. And
or the
then
Red Sox.
yep, then the won the first two at the Red Sox. So, but even to be I'm going to say the team name because they're not my team. Even playing against the White Sox and winning 7 games in a row against them. Baseball is a game where it doesn't really matter, you know. You could have I would expect one of those games for them to drop just based off the fact that it doesn't matter how good your team is, you're going to drop a game or two here and there. The
Mhm.
Dodgers do, the Braves do, lots of other teams do. So, but to do that, and the other thing is against the same team that you've already played that close together, like you would actually expect it to be more because you've clumped together there. You
Mhm.
know what to expect. You're used to playing against them. So I would actually say that's slightly more impressive than just flat out winning those games. Say that they were playing the Rockies instead of the White Sox in one of those series. I would say it's more impressive that they played the White Sox that close together and did it. Still take it with a grain of salt because it is the White Sox, but 12 games is still nothing to sneeze at.
And speaking on that, what also is impressive, kind of a sidetrack, is that same team, the White Sox. It is currently the second week of May, or no, it's first full week of May.
Yep,
They have already lost their season series against both the Royals and the Twins.
I did not know that.
Yep, it's the second week of May. It's that first full week of May, and they've lost the season series to two of their division rivals.
That's absurd.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they are also one of two teams, with the other being the Rockies, to not have 10 wins yet.
it's a race to 10.
Yep, both are at 8 wins right now.
So
Okay, let me ask you this real quick. Would you be more happy with the White Sox getting to 10 first, or would you be more upset with them getting to 10 first?
I think at this point, anything they do positive is a surprise.
So you'd rather that they get to 10 first?
I'd rather them not because then hopefully that means they can start firing people,
Mm-hmm.
which has been long overdue when things are so obviously not a fit that it's best you just move on.
Yeah.
And it seems like they don't know when to move on,
I
which is
will say though, who are they really going to fire?
yeah, I would
Manager?
say top
Coach?
down.
Well, they just fired their GM last year though, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm gonna give Chris Getz a because he actually made some decent trades. Cease trade
And
looked pretty
it's not
good.
like he's really had much to work with either.
His his free agency is a lot left to be desired, but his trades have been pretty good.
In fairness to him though, who's going to want to sign with them?
That's the problem.
Right.
You have Manny Machado in your grasp if you guaranteed 300 million. If you
Yeah.
guaranteed 300 million, you have Manny Machado, and all of a sudden your team is a lot more attractive.
Yeah. What was that now? 4 or 5 years ago? 5 years ago? Something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
who's counting?
It doesn't matter anymore. He's on the Padres, but yeah.
With
And
other
I'm
White Sox
not
great
gonna fault them for
candidates.
trading Tatis or anything because that's just at that point that's just a player that you're tossing in. You don't know he's going to be the star. There are plenty of times where that happens in other deals, so I don't fault them at all for that. I'm more so saying that so that other people are like, oh, well, they traded away Tatis. You don't know how these guys are going to turn out a lot of the time. You know, you can have top prospects not perform. You can have guys like Mike Piazza drafted in like the 42nd or 62nd round, something like that. They're Hall of Famers. Like that's the beauty of baseball. different people struggle, different people succeed. You just need the shot. Um, so
Exactly.
yeah. So who would you want fired? Manager, pitching coach, hitting coach, basically?
Say manager, hitting coach for a third straight season to fire the hitting coach. Pitching coach at this point it's been kind of old, didn't work.
Hmm.
Manager's been long overdue to be gone. Uh, Player development to be gone.
Yeah, that's fair.
Minor league coordinator to be gone, and owner to sell the team.
I was gonna say owner ultimately.
But they can't get fired. They have to just sell.
Right, right. Um, oh, what was I gonna say? Do you think that maybe giving a little bit more time with the new hitting coach just because he's not been there that long might help, or do you think
No,
it's too much of a lost cause at this point?
no, it's a lost cause.
Okay.
The only player that has any sort of power on the team is Tommy Pham.
That's true.
Yeah, Andrew Vaughn can't lift a ball in the air besides a pop up.
Yeah.
Eli has grounds out. It puts the ball on the ground too much when needs to hit fly balls.
Luis Roberts is coming back soon though,
He is
so
coming back in about 2 weeks, a week or two actually.
yep. So you'll have some more pop to help out, but don't know how much that's going to do.
We're
I
getting
will
too
say
we're getting
what?
too, we're getting too sidetracked on this team. They don't need all this attention.
Oh, real quick, I'm going to say one last thing about it, which is I personally wish that the MLB kept the teams draft where they finish instead of the lottery.
And
I
then
don't
not being allowed to be in the top 10 if you were in the top 10 2 straight years.
right. Like I get it. I understand what they're doing, but like at the
That's
same
not
time,
fair to the shit teams. Pardon my French.
well, it keeps a lot of teams from being the A's, but um
As we
or
saw with
or
Mason
like
Miller.
the Pirates with nutting. I swear if YouTube demonetizes us for me saying that, like, but like I understand it, but most teams aren't trying to be bad. You know, they're trying to win. So yeah.
Speaking of winning teams, how about the Dodgers?
Dodgers are playing out of their mind. Well, I guess that's what you get with their lineup and everything. Yeah, and we'll come back and touch on that a little bit more later. Like with Otani, but Mookie is playing quite well. Um, just as a whole, the team's playing really well. You know, didn't I think they swept the Braves last
Yep.
week? The one thing that is really working against them right now is the fact that Evan Phillips and Joe Kelly just went on the 15-day ILs.
But
Um,
they did just get back Blake Trinan.
that is true. That is true. So the Joe Kelly miss isn't as bad coming from somebody who's a big Joe Kelly fan. Um, but Evan Phillips definitely is a big hit for them, as their shutdown closer. But Blake should help ease that a little bit. Um, but I cannot wait for both of them to get back on the field. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Also for my fantasy team, hopefully sooner rather than later, but that's beside the point.
Not all sports are determined by fantasy sports, okay?
I know, I know. I know.
Gambling. Can never forget gambling.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say I play them for fun. The only thing I really play for in my fantasy sports is just bragging rights, you know. Um, yeah. It's just fun to do. Um, yeah. That's how I do all of them.
But as you're saying, you touched upon Mookie and the star power he has. Otani, you kind of mentioned a little bit. Just
Yeah.
is there a current better hitter in baseball right now than Shohei Ohtani?
No. His WRC plus is 219 right now. Which for people who aren't aware what WRC plus is, 100 is always average. So he is 2.19 times better of a batter than the league average, or 119. I might have said 2919, or 119% better than the league average. So he's roughly two and a fifth players better than your average player, when he's batting, which is just absolutely absurd. Mookie is the number two in that category at, I believe, a 199. This is as of day that we're recording this, too, so numbers might have fluctuated a little bit, but they're not going to move it that much from that. He's at 11 home runs. Ohtani is had some really, really good games the last few days. 2 home run day a few days ago. Dude's just absolutely tearing it up. And the crazy thing is, I really feel like no one in the NL is, even if we were doing a league wide MVP, I don't think anybody's beating him for MVP at this point. Like there's a lot of season left, but with how he's playing, no one's in. The closest guy to him is Mookie, and he's still a fifth better than Mookie by WRC plus. And yes, there's more than just WRC plus to a guy, but there's no one really in his stratosphere,
Mhm.
when it comes to batting. And the crazy thing is, he's not even pitching, and he looks like he's going to win another MVP award. Um, yeah, like he's just absolutely insane, and people question the $700 million investment on him. I'm saying that's looking like it's worth it, because peak Aaron Judge, you're looking at probably right around 180 to 200 on the very high end WRC plus. He's batting higher than that. And then after another year or two, he'll be pitching at roughly a Cy Young level, most likely. There you go. There's your 70 million in a year.
Yep.
And I would say that's a discount personally, but
Well, I mean, with the Dodgers payment plan that is called the discount.
well, yeah, 2 million a year for the next, or each year for 10, with the AAV being 40 million on the books. That is a huge discount. But yeah, even if you're paying him all of it right now, that's still a discount in my opinion. Once he's back pitching, as long as he can pitch at the same level he was. Because I would, you look at top pitchers making about 40 million, top batters making about 40 million. Realistically, he should be about 80 million with the MVP from the bats and the Cy Young caliber seasons, from the mound. So yeah, but that's a full another tangent on value of players, that I could I could do a whole video on another time. And maybe I will. Yeah. How about this? This podcast, if the episode gets, we'll say, 20 likes, I will do a full 15-20 minute video just breaking down values of players and stuff like that.
Call it the
Okay.
sidecast.
What?
Call it the sidecast.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, I like the idea. I like the idea. Make a side series called the sidecast. I like that. I like that a lot. So there you go. We'll launch a new show if we get, what did I say, 20 likes?
You said 20.
20 likes. Okay. There you go. There you guys go. So make sure to hit the like button down below. Also make sure to subscribe so that once we hit that milestone and I put out that video, you guys can be, or you guys can see that, and make sure to turn on the notifications so that you can see exactly when I post, or when we post that.
You say, who said you're the only one allowed to do sidecasts?
Well, I'll do the sidecast episodes. Maybe I'll have you on as a guest here and there, but
Okay,
we'll
I
see.
guess.
We'll
I
see.
get it.
We have to get to unlocking the sidecast though
There
first.
you go.
So, and that is up to you guys, the users, or the viewers, not the users, the viewers. So,
Uh,
yeah.
so shall we get into the viewer's favorite part of the show?
I think we should get into the fan favorite sections.
Bring on the fanfare that we still don't have.
Random poll. It is that time.
It still needs a fanfare, just being quite honest.
Yeah.
Trumpets or something. Just let it go.
Do-do-do.
There you go. We're trying not to copy 20th Century Fox.
Well, that's why I only did a small bit of it. Please stay on pitcher. Please stay on pitcher. Please stay on pitcher.
Yay, the round of
I did
applause.
not want to do another infielder because I was struggling to really get a good infielder that wasn't a Tiger. So
See, so it was a tie. Let's go.
tie last time. Who went first last time?
You
Was
went
I
first last time.
was I defending or were you
I was
defending?
defending.
Okay, so you'll want me to go first again this time.
Always.
Okay, random pitcher. Oh, my contact just moved to my 1 second. We're going to do Levon Hernandez.
Dude, put in notes for players. That is better than I did. You say that one
Well,
more time?
what I do is when they pop in my mind when I'm at work, I'll quickly toss them in my phone. So I have them later because I just think of like the randomest people sometimes. So that's why I have the notes for this, but it doesn't help when you can't read it because your contact moved. But
Who'd
yeah,
you say?
Levon Hernandez.
One more time?
Levon Hernandez.
I'm just gonna give you that one. I have absolutely no idea what it is. All right, Hector Rondon. There you go. There's my pitcher.
I still
Congrats.
cannot.
You are now you're on the comeback trail.
So Hernandez is a 30 WAR player, 178 wins, 177 losses, career ERA of 4.44.
Nothing
So
special.
he was a solid Cuban born player. Mainly with the Nationals.
There you go.
Or at least last with the Nationals. But yeah, I watch a lot of Jolly Olive videos where he covers stuff. So shout out Jolly. And that was in one of the videos that I watched a few weeks ago. So
There you go.
yeah. So there we go. Add another one to the scoreboard. If my memory serves me right, I'm either tied or like one behind you now, I think.
I think you're two. I think you're two behind.
By two.
Or no, I think you are now one behind because
I
I
think
gave
I'm one behind now because I think I was two after last week's tie still. Now on to the final section here. Our question is, what is your way too early take? Now, we already said an early take a few minutes ago about Ohtani being your MVP right now. Whoa. I apologize for that. My dogs are wanting to be included in the podcast, I guess. Um so I'd say an early take, which I don't think we're going to see this come to fruition, sadly, is that Mike Trout would have won the MVP had he stayed healthy. But I'll do one that we actually can look at. But you're going to have to give me a second to think of that. So, Justin, do you have one?
I do.
Okay, what is it?
So I know at the beginning when we made our predictions, we each said Young Ho Lee was going to be the rookie of the year, NL rookie of the year. I am now going to. I think that Shota Imanaga is not only going to win NL rookie of the year. I think he wins Cy Young.
Really?
It'll be a close race between him and Wheeler. That's my hot take.
That's fair.
He
Which
showed up for Cy.
yeah, I will say I did consider making him my pick for rookie of the year, but it's so hard to predict guys who pitch in Japan over to move over to the US. just because like the ball and the parks play a little bit different. I think you're seeing that with Yamamoto quite a bit. Still pitching very well, but not as dominant as they were in Japan. So I was a little bit more hesitant to pick a pitcher, whereas Jung Ho Lee is more of a contact bat. So I was like, okay, that shouldn't change it that much.
Mhm.
So that was my rationale with that. But I do like that stance. And honestly, I could see rookie of the year happening. We'll have to see on Cy Young. If he keeps up what he's doing right now, that's definitely going to be the case. Ranger Suarez would also be an interesting one to watch for
Mhm.
that, because he's also been pitching out of his mind. Um,
Mac Wheeler.
yeah, really, you can name about anybody out of the Phillies starting lineup right now, or starting rotation right now. They're all playing really, really, really good. Um, Houston Astros missed the playoffs.
I mean, you're talking
That's
about
going to be my way too early hot take.
a last place team right now.
They have all the pieces there though. So I could see them clawing their way back and making a wild card spot, or if they got really hot taking the division. But I think realistically, you think wild card now. But I I'm just gonna say they're gonna miss it, and I believe they were who I picked to win that division. So not looking great for me there. Yeah, but I think if you would have told anybody prior to the start of the season that the Astros missed the playoffs, they would think that you're crazy.
Mhm.
I would have put money on them to make the playoffs, if I had to choose. And I don't know. They just really haven't figured anything out. I know this is back to back, if not 3 weeks in a row now of me harping on them. Um, but I'm just waiting for them to turn it around. And it might be time that, they don't turn it around and that kind of dynasty that they had starts falling apart. Which I guess with that, Jordan probably doesn't win MVP, which is my other pick for that. Um,
He's been playing really well though. That's not been their issue.
yeah, that is true, but you don't normally see teams that miss the playoffs have an MVP. I guess you have that with Shohei, but I guess in Shohei's defense, he also was pitching at Cy
Yeah.
Young level, and so there is that. Um, yeah, but yeah, my way too early take is going to be Houston does not end up making the playoffs. Um,
I mean, it would be such a dumpster fire for them to really sell everything off.
I don't see them selling. Like a lot of people are going to be like, why wouldn't they sell?
They don't need to.
Why would you do that? Like if you have one bad season, the only player that you could, or the only players you could really justify selling off would be like a Justin Verlander. They wouldn't do this, but a Jose Altuve, some of your aging guys.
I would say Bregman. I think he's on an expiring contract.
If Bregman is on an expiring contract, I could see that moving too. The other reason why Altuve is not going to is I think he has 2 years left on his contract, something like that.
He's the Astro lifer.
Right. I was gonna say they're not going to trade him because they're keeping him for life. It'd be like the Tigers in the past few years trading Miguel Cabrera. Even though, yes, I know he wasn't a Tiger for life. You're not trading a guy like that. Um, but I could see them moving some pieces, like Verlander or Bregman, if his contract is expiring, just because you want to get something out of those guys. But you don't blow up basically any of the rest of it. Maybe one reliever here or there too, but you have a good core still of Jordan and Kyle Tucker, Jeremy Pena. You have a lot of younger or like towards their prime players. You don't blow that up. Um, you trade away some of those pieces, you retool next year, you make a run at the World Series again. Their team's good.
Mhm.
It's not that they just for some reason aren't playing well. So no, I don't think you blow it up, but I do think that they missed the playoffs. Hi again.
We're dog.
Hi, hi, Cedar.
Yeah, Cedar wants to be on the podcast.
Cedar, I know you want to say hi on the podcast, but I need to finish this, please. Thank you. So yeah, do you have any other hot take really, or is that your only big one? It's
Uh,
fine if you don't. I'm putting you on the spot
one
to.
more. I guess I do have one more. Mason Miller leads the AL in saves.
I would love to see that. If the A's are able to win enough games for that, that's really the only thing stopping it.
Mhm.
Is just how many wins can the A's get? Um,
Or to do a complete or the A's pull off the plot to Major League.
see, I almost made that as my pick, and I was like, I'm not that confident that they end up making the playoffs for me to say that, but I wouldn't hate to see it. I also wouldn't love to see it because I don't want to see John Fisher succeeding a ton right now.
I mean, it's literally the exact plot to Major League.
Because the other thing is, if they start winning and fans aren't going to show up because they're protesting John Fisher, then it just is like, see, fans weren't showing up even if we won.
Mm-hmm.
But if they show up, then they're giving money to John Fisher. So it's really a double-edged sword. So I hope that doesn't happen, sheerly for that reason. I'd love to see it happen for the players, but not for ownership. Yeah, that's my big gripe. You know, it'd be absolutely crazy though, is the Angels some reason make a run at the playoffs. I think they have like a 1.5% chance to make the playoffs or something like that. I saw
Rather than a
earlier.
1.4% chance.
That is true. Is that what the White Sox have right now?
No, I'm pretty sure they're already eliminated.
Essentially, yeah. Well, I guess in the comments below, leave your hot takes. Was it way too early to be saying? Maybe you'll be right. And if so, I guess we'll give a big shout out at the end of the year to anybody who
Mhm.
predicts it right. But it has to be on this video and it has to be like within reasonable time.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I was gonna say if it's
don't be coming back here in 4 months predicting like, oh, so and so's winning MVP where it's like it's a runaway race.
just don't go to the All-Star break and all of a sudden be like Shohei's is going to lead the league in home runs when he's already up
When
by
he's already up by
already
like
by 15.
15 home runs.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Wait, what pace is Shohei at right now?
You say he's
That
at 11?
he's at 11. How many games in are there?
They're about a quarter in, so I'd say he's about somewhere between 44 to 50.
Okay. Do we think he break? Well, let's toss this out. Do we think he breaks 50 home runs?
With the
I think
Dodgers, with the Dodgers hitting program, the drive line, yes, he hits 50.
I think he hits 50, surely because he's not losing at bats to pitching.
Yep, as long as he stays healthy, he'll hit 50.
Correct. Right. As long as he stays healthy. And that's been a lot of the problem this year with a lot of players. But
Oh, don't even get me started on my IL list right now on fantasy.
yeah, me too.
And on
Me.
that somber note, that's probably where we it's probably where we hopefully do not end up on the IL. Before as we're gonna keep talking, one of us is about to end up there. So
Yeah. So let's not do that. But yeah, we will see you guys here next week. If you guys have any questions for us, leave them down below and
or
we'll
DM
be
us on Instagram
yeah.
or
Um
X.
yeah, DM us, comment on our post on Instagram or on X/Twitter. Make sure you follow us on all those platforms. Give us a subscribe here on YouTube, give us a like if you like the video. And yeah, we hope to see you here next week.
What are we without our fans?
It, we're nothing without our fans. You guys are the ones who make this possible. So thank you
Love
guys.
y'all. Love y'all. And
Have a great week.
peace.